Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our featured bout. It is scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing in the light heavyweight division, and it is being brought to you by Warriors Boxing and 8 Count Productions in association with DeBella Entertainment, Round 3, and Blue Wave Boxing. It is sanctioned by the Illinois State Athletic Unit, and our 3 judges assigned. Scoring on a 10-point must system will be Bill Lurch, Jerry Jacobko, and John McCarthy. When the bell rings, our referee in charge, the 3rd man in the ring, will be Celestino Ruiz. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from the UIC Pavilion here in Chicago, Illinois, this is our main event of the evening. Introducing to you first, to my right, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing silver, red, and orange, and weighed in at 173 3/4 pounds. Fighting out of Miami, Florida, by way of Clarendon, Jamaica. Tonight, he is fighting in his 70th professional bout, and his record consists of 51 wins, 16 defeats, 2 draws, with 35 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former IBF light heavyweight champion of the world, Glen, the Road Warrior Johnson. And his opponent across the ring in this main event, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing blue trunks with white, and weighed in the same as his opponent, 173 3/4 pounds. Fighting out of Chicago, Illinois, by way of Białobrzegi, Poland. His record, 21 wins, 2 defeats, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, currently ranked number 9 in the world by the WBO, here is the Polish Prince, Andrzej Fonfara.
Come on in, come on in. Glen, gentlemen, you receive your instruction in the dressing room. I expect a clean fight. Obey my command. Let's touch it up. Let's get cracking. That's a little high right there. That's a little bit high.
Celestino Ruiz, the referee, scheduled for 10 rounds. The former light heavyweight champion of the world against the local favorite.
Most of the fights for Fonfara have been right here in this state of Illinois. Matter of fact, this is the 11th time fighting here at the UIC Pavilion for Fonfara. He likes it.
Let's go.
It gives him a little edge with his local following. At least he thinks it does.
Noticeable height discrepancy right away. Fonfara 6'2", Johnson listed at 5'11". Fonfara tries to fire off that straight right hand early and split the guard. That time he tried to come around the left hand of Johnson.
Fonfara has a very thin neck, a pencil neck, as we say in the trade, and a thin chin. Usually guys with thin necks and those kind of razor-thin chins don't take it well up there. Johnson would love to find out and test that theory. Johnson has lost 3 of his last 4, but all to world champions.
He's fought at a very high level recently at 168 pounds. He KO'd Alan Green and then lost a majority decision against Carl Froch. He was in that fight every step of the way. And then his last fight, November of 2011, against Lucien Boutte.
The best punch for Fonfara is the right hand. He'll use the left hook, he'll jab to set up the right hand. And he will complement it, as I said, with the left hook, but the right hand is what he likes to look for. For Johnson, oh, it's that boring punch.
Oh, good jab right there.
The punch that's been around longer than Johnson's. It's that punch that you just talked about, Joe. It's a jab for Johnson. That's where it starts. He's got an accurate one, a stiff one, and a hard one. And when he starts to get in range with that jab, he likes to look for the right hand. They go to the body well, too. Johnson's always been good fundamentally. And again, it starts with the stick. The most fundamental punch in boxing. The left jab.
Fonfara with Johnson up against the ropes. Fired off a two-punch combination. Johnson works that jab back to the middle of the ring, creating some distance. Here, the chant already starting up of Fonfara with this Polish contingency here in downtown Chicago.
Big step up for Fonfara. Just like the Papaka people. His people are depending on Johnson being old or getting old.
End of one. Joe and Teddy with you here as the red and white Polish flags out in force at the UIC Pavilion in Chicago, as the locals are rooting on Andrew Fonfara against one of the classiest guys the game has ever known, the 43-year-old former light heavyweight champion Glen Johnson. Round number 2.
Fonfara better use that long reach and that tall frame. He better use it on the outside, not the inside. Even at 43, Johnson knows what to do inside with a long, thin frame. Busted up to the body, to the ribs. I give credit to Fonfara. He made a little adjustment, Joe. He usually throws a straight right hand. He looped it a little around the glove, the ear of Johnson. Johnson does such a great job keeping those gloves up. You either have to split them down the middle or go around them.
There was a sharp right hand by Glen Johnson, then a left hook that landed. Now he comes with another left hook.
Johnson wants to find out what I want to find out. That thin chin and neck of Fonfara.
Good offensive surge by the Chicago-based fighter as he returns.
But everything blocked by the solid Johnson, the former world champion.
He kept that right arm in tight as those left hands were raining in. And now he doubles up a hook of his own, does Johnson.
What's important now is the geography of this fight. It's taking place in too close, I think, for Fonfara. Close where Johnson has an advantage. Fonfara needs to be on the outside, and this round he's fought a lot on the inside.
And you can see the damage that Johnson's been able to do. Sharp, tight, precision punching by the veteran.
Don't forget, not only does Fonfara give up his height and his length when he goes in close, which suits Johnson, but he's naturally a smaller guy, so he's not as strong as Johnson. Fonfara turned pro at 145 pounds. Moved up from welterweight to junior middleweight, then middleweight, then super middleweight, and now he's a light heavyweight. Johnson started as a middleweight and moved up to this weight. Johnson's the stronger guy.
Watch your head, guys. Watch your head.
Steady work with the jab.
Now Fonfara made a little adjustment the last 30 seconds. Went outside, using his legs to get in and out a little.
Shaping up to be a good-looking main event. Stay with us, end of 2.
You know, one of the questions you got to ask being here in Chicago is how fair the judges are going to be with the local Fonfara and the former champion Johnson. Johnson landed a lot of good hard shots. Fonfara came back, but a lot of those punches blocked. Then Johnson came back. A lot of those punches not blocked. Around the ear, down to the body. Again, Joe, maybe the question comes, if this fight goes the distance, are the judges working as hard as these fighters to do their best?
We will see if it gets to that point. Round number 3 scheduled for 10. Fonfara 4 years ago this week was TKO'd on Friday Night Fights at the hands of Derek Finley. Since that, he's gone on his win streak to run his mark to 21-2. Turned pro in Poland in 2006 and then moved to Chicago.
Again, 2 things to remember here. One, we are in Chicago where Fonfara has a big following where he comes from. Will the judges be swayed by that if it goes to the scorecards? And number 2, Fonfara never been past 6 rounds. If the pace is brisk enough early on, can Johnson take him into the deep waters and drown them? Johnson has been 10 rounds or better 28 times. And I guess the third question would be, does Johnson start behaving like a 43-year-old tonight?
He's able to get that right hand around that guard. Then he snaps that left well, does Fonfara.
I'll give credit again to Fonfara. He was fighting too close. But now, see, he loops that right hand. That's the right place to throw that right hand. To loop it around the glove of Johnson, because Johnson blocks. But if you go around the glove, it gets into the ear, behind the ear. Give credit to Fonfara for noticing that. Usually you want to throw that right hand straight as an arrow. With those gloves up, if you loop it around, you have a chance of affecting Johnson, and Fonfara affected him with that looping right hand around the glove twice today. I thought early on, Fonfara, the last round, was staying inside too much. Somebody must have gotten his ear. He's staying on the outside much better, which suits him much better with Johnson. He's got the long arms to use the jab, control space, and his arms are long enough to still score with that right hand.
10 seconds.
It's a good round from Fonfara at the end of 3.
Hey, listen to me. The left hook is working. You're throwing the right hook. You're not coming back with the left hook. Hey, get back on the jab. You understand? Back on the jab. Don't stand. I want you to move your head. You got to get off first. You hear me? You got to get off first.
I agree with him that the right hook, he calls it a right hook, the trainer, but the looping right hand, it can't be a right hook unless it's a southpaw. And as an orthodox fighter, it can only be a left hook. But the looping right hand is working. I would have told him stay on that, but he also told him finish with the left hook. Better to hit him with 2 instead of only the single right hand.
That is Sam Colonna, who is a veteran of the Windy City Gym. We've seen Sam on so many of our Friday Night Fight broadcasts throughout the years when we're in the Midwest. And he is advising Andrew Fonfara here in a step-up fight in his career against the former light heavyweight champion Glen Johnson. Teddy's scorecard, even first round, last round goes to Fonfara, 29-29. Right hand from Andrew.
You know, you've heard about this saying, the third time is the charm. Well,
Watch your head, guys.
Johnson changed that saying a little bit, Joe. But Johnson was the 4th time for him. That's when he won the world title in his 4th try. And it's just an example of his perseverance.
He was 35 years old when he won the world title. It was his 51st pro fight.
I mean, we always say it. You have to believe, you have to keep trying until you get there. Johnson has lived that and proven that.
Right hand from Johnson just missed when Fonfara opened up after that.
Well, so far, so good. As far as the chin of Fonfara, although he still hasn't gotten caught clean enough for me to be sure that skinny little chin and skinny neck can hold up. There goes that looping right hand a moment ago. There it is.
There it is again.
And again, there's a reason for it. Not straight, but looping. You keep your gloves up, those earmuffs on, the way Johnson did. The opening is around the glove. You know, we've talked so much about how many birthdays Johnson's had, 43. Let me throw out a happy birthday to one of our greatest fans, Joe, Sam Berlin. Happy 87th birthday. Pretty special man, that guy, Sam Berlin. Right now, Fonfara's trying to be special and beat a special fighter.
Well, we got a Polish, Chicago-based fighter in the ring, and sitting ringside is Andrew Galata to take in the work of Andrew Fonfara here in round number 5, scheduled for 10 against Glen Johnson.
People check to see if they're wearing their cup when they see that picture.
The low blows from years past, of course.
Johnson reaching a little bit, and it's not just because he's 43, it's because Fonfara doing a good job of changing distance, making him reach a little. Not now, though, laying in front a little too long. But earlier, the last round, you could see Fonfara stepping out, making Johnson reach a little bit. This is where Fonfara does not need to be in close with Johnson, as we said earlier, who's better suited to fighting in close.
He was targeting that body when he was at closer range.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great advantage of being tall if you're on the outside. You're long, it's hard to find you. You can make the guy reach. You can score with a long, long reach. But when you get close, it's a disadvantage because there's a long, lean body to attack and to find. Johnson talked in the interviews about getting inside, working the body. He's been able to get inside. It's not like he hasn't been able to. Right here, he's inside. It's a matter of how much work he gets done during those moments. He knows what to do when he's in there, up and down.
Yep, doubled up that left hand to the body and then went upstairs with a straight right.
He needs to start splitting the guard a little bit, Johnson, with the uppercut, because Fonfara's doing a pretty good job of also keeping the earmuffs on and blocking. But you can split those earmuffs with the uppercut.
There it is right there, a right uppercut. Fonfara created separation, threw back a combination and a flurry there.
Yeah, but guys covering up, don't go to the arms. Go around the arms to the body. And then, a la Tyson, come up the middle with the uppercut. That's the ticket. Better round for Johnson. Too much time, I think, spent inside by Fonfara. Fonfara has a pretty good game plan, though. You can see it, Joe. You know, he knows he should be outside. He knows that's where he belongs.
The right hand got a reaction from the crowd there. It's been a fun night here in Chicago for Friday Night Fight Chicago. A really good fight town, always has been, with a grand history going back. And a big crowd here at the UIC Pavilion, downtown Chicago, where the Polish fans have been chanting throughout the night for their 24-year-old light heavyweight Andrew Fonfara, taking on the former light heavyweight champion Glen Johnson. jab by Johnson that time, and then he just missed with a glancing right hand. Let's look at Teddy's scorecard. That 5th round was a better round for Glen Johnson, and evens things up on Teddy's scorecard, 48-48.
Only my scorecard only counts to us, not to the fighters. That's in the hands of the local guys.
CompuBox saw the last round this way. Johnson with a 22-19 connect advantage.
You know, I gave credit to Fonfara, using his legs a little bit, having a good game plan, standing on the outside, pot shot with that right hand, changing distance, making the old man use his legs a little bit to close the gaps. But Fonfara not doing a good enough job on the outside with his jab. Early he did a better job, but lately he's not. He's just looking for right hands. There's the jab, but it's been missing. And Johnson, well, he knows how important that jab is, Joe. He's been around 19.5 years. The jab has served him very well.
Left hand to the body by Fonfara, and then he tried to back it up by chasing Johnson down with a right hand upstairs.
You remember when Michael Moore fought Holyfield the first time? Not a lot of huge punches, but a lot of jabs from Moore, and it wound up carrying the fight. I wonder if the judges are looking at the jabs from Johnson. Fonfara not using the jab, but looking to steal the rounds with more explosive combinations, more showing combinations. Oh, he gets caught a right hand there.
Opened up, and Johnson filled the hole.
You know, the old-timers would tell you, don't lead with a left hook in front. Well, Johnson, the old-timer, knows what to do when Fonfara leads with a left hook in front. Counter with the right hand. That's why you don't lead with left hooks in front, especially with an old-timer, Joe, like Johnson.
That boxing computer in his mind instantly fires off and knows what to do, and he did it. Glen Johnson got an earful from the veteran trainer Orlando Cuellar after that round. He said, listen, Andrew Fonfara is not going away with one shot. He's got a hard head. You have to get to the inside and outwork him.
And don't hit him in the head if it's hard. Hit him in the body where it's softer. Or hit him on the chin where it's a lot more vulnerable. You see Fonfara again on the outside where I think he belongs, but you can't control the outside just by standing there. You got to do that. Move your jab. And that time he did, tried to set up the right hand that was blocked. Johnson does a good job, not just keeping his hands up, but moving them a little subtly, Joe. Here, he crossed one in front of the other. See, he did it a moment ago. He closed those gloves, so it's hard to split his guard with the straight right hand. That's why Fonfara's been going around the glove. He doesn't just keep them up. He shifts them a little bit towards the center of his face.
Let's look at Teddy's scorecard. 58-57, close fight here. With 4 rounds to go.
Johnson's known as the body puncher, but there's a body punch. But Fonfara has a little chance to go downstairs. Watch Johnson when he blocks. His arms go up, his elbows go up. Leaves the body a little bit open. You know, we're talking about old-timers here, Castillo and Johnson, giving them their due.
And here goes Glen Johnson now as Fonfara covers up for a moment. smiles as if to say, I'm fine, and then tries to turn the tables.
Again, Fonfara on the outside. That time he moves his hands. Johnson breathing a little heavy this round, Joe. A lot of rounds in the career of Johnson.
That odometer is turned over. 3 rounds to go.
Here's an example of Fonfara finding the right spot, the looping right hand. He knows those gloves up, those arms are in, so doesn't try to go through it, goes around it. Well, we're there. Uncharted territory for Fonfara. First time he's ever been 8 rounds. First time he's been outside of 6 rounds. I don't know if the pace has been fast enough to maybe test him in these late rounds the way Johnson, I'm sure, wanted to test him mentally and physically in these late rounds.
We're here in round number 8. His last 3 fights combined haven't even totaled up to 8 total rounds, with the stretch of KO wins that Fonfara has had. 67-67, says Teddy. Of course, for Glen Johnson, this is just another day at the office. A tough night of work for this grizzled and weathered veteran. 70th pro fight. He's been in tough lately. Took part in the Super 6 tournament at 160 pounds.
Johnson was always a busy fighter. And tonight he's a pretty busy fighter. But not quite as busy as he used to be when he was in 43.
That time he covered up. There was a little opening when Fonfara went to the body, and he was able to land that left hand upstairs.
Fonfara turning southpaw. Now back to orthodox. I guess he's feeling good. Feeling sure of himself, feeling in command. Feeling like a guy that can beat a former world champion. Johnson very good at timing jabs with his right hand. He just missed a moment ago. Johnson can't keep the pace up that he wants to keep up, Joe. He's got to fight in more spurts than he used to fight in. And that's serving the younger man.
They have filled the entire lower bowl and floor here at the UIC Pavilion to come out and see the former light heavyweight champion Glen Johnson against their local favorite, the Polish-born Andrzej Fonfara. Look at Glen Johnson as he comes out for round number 9 in what has been a tough test tonight against the 24-year-old Fonfara. 19-year age difference. Glen Johnson said, hey, I know I'm supposed to win this fight. I'll have to reassess things if I don't. He was mentioning retirement. We'll see if he can figure out a way to pull this out. Teddy has him down 77-76 with 6 minutes to go.
When you see old timers like Johnson in there with a young fighter like Fonfara, 24 years of age, you always think about 2 things. Will be the experience, the character, the former greatness of Johnson that shows and dominates and wins or will youth be served?
Right hand, left uppercut, then he comes back with the left hook.
Right now, we're going to find out. The experience, the old heart of Johnson, or the youth and the confidence right now of Fonfara. Interesting to watch.
Right hand by Glen Johnson.
Johnson needs a little help at this age, and he's getting it. Fonfara's staying in close. I don't think Johnson can go find them in the late rounds of a fight at 43 years of age. He needs Fonfara to find him in some ways.
Don't lean on him. Box. Watch that elbow. Watch that elbow.
You know, we wondered, Joe, going into the late rounds, the deep waters, would Fonfara be at a disadvantage, never being past 6? Would it be an advantage for Johnson? Right now, maybe an advantage for Fonfara, who's only 24. And maybe Johnson, having been in the late rounds 28 times, maybe it's shown.
Step back.
Not an advantage.
Fonfara jumps in that time with a 3-bunch combination.
Now we see the hands that served him, but it was the young legs that served Fonfara. You said it. He jumped in. Johnson can't jump in. You just saw it.
That's right. He had to reach for that right hand.
Youth is screaming, yelling, showing itself right now.
ESPN Friday Night Fights is presented by Corona Extra, proud sponsor of Friday Night Fights, and as always encourages you to relax responsibly. And in part by the new Just for Men Auto Stop, knocks out the gray better than ever. Here in Chicago, where Glen Johnson could be facing perhaps
you can't hit him and let him
the
go back
last
and you stay where you're
round
at. You got to hit him
of his great
stay on
career.
track. Catch him as he's stepping. Doing good work. Doing good work, but we need more of it. All right? Go back and give me 3 and 4 shots together, Glenn. 1, 2 ain't gonna do it. He's open for 3 and 4 shots. Whenever you do, you catch him and you hurt him. Please, 3 and 4 shots. You gotta bite down. Last round. Let's take home the victory. Take home the victory.
Can a proud former champion, a former fighter of the year, in the 70th pro fight of his career, here in the 10th and final round, overcome the fury, energy, and passion of a 24-year-old up-and-comer in front of his fans?
How does Fonfara go about this last round? Does he feel young and want to make a big statement? Or does he think old and smart and say, I'm ahead? I'm not going to give the old veteran a chance to pull this out.
Andrew Fonfara has the fans here on their feet to start the 10th round. Great energy in Chicago tonight as he looks to finish strong, and he jumps on Johnson in that red corner.
It might be what Fonfara needs, but it's definitely what Johnson has to have if he's got a chance to score a knockout. Fonfara taking chances.
Johnson needs him to serve up those opportunities.
Johnson only knocked out 1 time in 69. Now make it 70 fights.
There's a right hand that he placed moments ago. Fonfara was knocked out in 2008. That was his last loss. It happened on Friday Night Fights. He's a more mature and developed fighter now.
Johnson looks tired.
He does, Teddy. Especially walking back to the corner after the last 2 rounds.
His greatest ability has always been directly related to one of his character traits. Dependability, steady, reliable. And in 43, no different, he's showing it. That's what Johnson needs.
Short chopping right hand.
He
Here
needs
comes
Fonfara
Fonfara.
to come in so Johnson can time him, can counter him. Johnson can't go get him. So if Fonfara goes after him, hey, more power to him. But maybe Johnson gets the chance he needs. And he's landed a little bit here. I just don't know if he can continue putting them together.
Last half minute. This crowd has remained on their feet in anticipation. They want to see the hometown kid score the biggest win of his career. Let's see how he brings it home.
Oh, Johnson just missed him with the right hand.
One last shot, one last at-bat, and the champ just missed. And the folks here in Chicago feel like they're ready to celebrate. The old warrior gave it one more try. The young buck, all hugs in his corner. We will come back to Chicago and hear from the judges. Stay with us. Before we hear from the judges on Johnson Fonfara, a look at the punch of the night brought to you by Just For Men Auto Style. Jose Luis Castillo against Ivan Popopka, Teddy.
Yeah, the left hook, little dip with the shoulder, a little bit of a dip. See the little dip? Then he goes up top. That's how a former world champion, an experienced fighter, gets it done.
Won by TKO. Now, for our main event, Glen Johnson, the old champ, 43 years old, and Andrew Fonfara. Let's show you how it played out tonight.
Early on, Johnson with the jab, the right hand, and then the young Fonfara started to show his wares a little bit, moving his hands, not always scoring, but understanding he needs to punch on the outside, use that height, use those legs a little. But Johnson continued coming forward, going to the body, trying to wear down the younger Fonfara. But Fonfara had plenty left, mentally, physically, and in my scorecard, did the job.
Fonfara outlanded Johnson 206 to 175, outpunched him 818 to 615. Teddy's scorecard, Fonfara at the end of the fight coming on strong to take it 97 to 94. Let's hear from the judges, and for that we send it up to Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Bill Lurch scores it 99 to 91, and both judges Jerry Jacobko and John McCarthy are in agreement, scoring it exactly the same, 97 to 93. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, the Polish Prince, Andrzej Fonfara.
I agree with the 97, 93, the 99. Boy, maybe that judge has been around too long. Maybe his career is over.
Teddy, let me tell you something. Chicago's a great fight town.
How about a big round of applause?
These fans, when you give them
Johnson,
a hometown fighter, and especially with the ethnic connection in this town, a Polish fighter, it's a great fight town. They were in this fight every second of it from start to finish.
Well, that's why I did my opening talking about what a great fight town this has always been, and how it was really proper that Johnson, a great old fighter, would finish up in this great old fight town.
23-2 is Fonfara. Glen Johnson loses in his 70th pro fight. We invite you to join us on ESPN.com later tonight. We're going to talk to Glen Johnson. For now, let's send it back out to Bernardo at the U.S. Olympic Training Center.